Europe, and then we'll take an extended look at the British Isles, probably getting right through to the weekend. First of all to Europe, where after a relatively mild spell, it certainly wasn't that way in Oslo last night, well below the seasonal average. And after that mild spell, well, I think we are going to see increasingly cooler airs chasing across the heart of Europe, tending to force the warmer air, which has been very much the dominant feature, over towards, in fact, the Caspian Sea. And it isn't until the start of next week that we see a recovery in those temperatures across much of Iberia and indeed western France as well. These are the sort of values you can expect somewhere around about 7 degrees in Paris, a good deal drier, brighter and sunnier in the southern parts of Iberia, and also over in the eastern Mediterranean, 22 degrees in Athens, very pleasant indeed. Now, coming back towards the British Isles, it's dry, bright and sunny here in London, a completely different sort of setup to the one we had yesterday, which brought a number of heavy and prolonged showers, if not longer spells of rain, sleet and snow. And there were problems for a time, at least, with some flood warnings, and if you heard about those earlier in the day, then I can tell you that these have in fact just been cancelled as I was putting this bulletin together, so the flooding risk is now diminishing. Still a lot of cloud there across many of these eastern areas, some of that cloud beginning to drift down into the Midlands as well. And it's still feeling really quite cool across many of these eastern regions, and that's because we've still got the northeasterly breeze feeding in off the North Sea, at least in the southeastern quarter. Something slightly milder, though, beginning to build across northern and western areas as we move on through the day. So 1 or 2 showers to be expected across eastern coastal fringes down towards the Midlands as well, and feeling that wee bit chillier too across those eastern areas. Further west, well, 9 or 10 is distinctly possible, but as the cloud begins to thin overnight, well, I think there's a distinct possibility the temperature will fall back quite widely across the British Isles, and we will be looking at a widespread frost, -3 or -4 down towards the south. Now, we'll get a frost again tonight and for the next night through Friday night as well, but as we move on towards the weekend, you just get a feeling that things are beginning to warm up. No signs of frost as we move on through the weekend, and that is brought about by the fact that we're starting to pick up southerly breezes as our resident high pressure just begins to topple a little bit down towards the continent, allowing initially southerlies and then westerly breezes to move in across us for the weekend. And then at the start of the new week, well, there we see something slightly cooler again, with that northwesterly between the low to the north and the high pressure way towards the west. So for Thursday, high pressure still very much the dominant feature, a cold and frosty start for many areas. The cloud bubbling up as we move on through the day, maybe just enough across the far north for the odd shower, and late on in the day, a freshening wind and perhaps 1 or 2 showers there as well in Northern Ireland. Then by Friday, this front showing signs of just beginning to work its way in on that southwesterly breeze, so the cloud thickening all the while across the western side of Scotland, Northern Ireland too, but not really affecting many parts of England and Wales, and there you see the temperatures just beginning to lift a touch. As we move on through Saturday and Sunday, the last of that front still loitering across the far south. It won't be far away on Sunday. And then new fronts bringing more cloud and rain across the northern part of Scotland, but in between, a little bit of sunshine and feeling generally warmer.